All right, without further ado, Amy Taylor. You guys know her. If you watch Compound, you've seen her on Wet Spot. I had the pleasure of meeting her when I think I filled in for Chrissy a few weeks ago. And that's the first time I met her. She was my ride or die at Chrissy's baby shower. We were seated next to each other. We were thick as thieves. She's on a Times Square billboard. She's on the cover of Fine Arts Mag, Boudoir Magazine, Elements Mag, and Coral Avenue Magazine,
Oh my
just to
gosh.
name a few. Yes.
I love that.
She is lovely. I'm so happy she came into our lives. Here, without further ado, it is Amy Taylor, everyone. Hi,
Hello.
darling.
How are you guys?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. What is this demon cat you have? What
Oh
is
my God.
My
creature?
betrothed has a devil cat. Oh my gosh. Amy, this is my mom, Michaeline. She's my sidekick
Hi.
co-host. You could
Nice
say
to meet
anything
you,
and
Amy.
anything you'd
Nice to
like
meet
around
you.
her. Don't
Pleasure to meet you. Beautiful.
You are beautiful also. Oh my God.
Isn't she?
Look at your eyes. They're
You know-
piercing, beautiful.
California. I'm in California right now, and the light, as the reason the film industry came out here 100 years ago, is the light. I'll show you.
It hits different, yeah.
It's just brighter. It's like there, so the folks can see.
Oh,
Wow. You are
holy
gorgeous.
moly! Yes.
Holy cow. And where in California are you? California.
Southern California.
Southern
So
California.
yeah, the lights, like you come here and like it makes you like look a little brighter. It's just sunnier. And then you get back to New York in the dark and the cold, and you're
Oh
like,
yeah. It's kind of it drags everything down, right?
I mean,
You were in California, and then you recently moved to New York, right?
yeah. So I live in New York full time. Sorry, plugging back in. I live in New York full time, but I travel about, I don't know, a third of the time I'm gone, which makes Manhattan super fun and also more tolerable because I'm not just there like all the time. Which
That's
is great.
what I
It's
say too. It's nice to be. We're on the road a lot too.
Yeah.
So like right like this weekend, Hershey, Pennsylvania. But it is it's nice to be able to, if you're traveling a lot, New York isn't so daunting.
Yeah, right. The island is a lot if you never leave. I think most of us who live there go other places, and then it's super fun to return to. I mean, New York. I always wanted to live there before I did. Finally checking that box in life, and it's every bit as fun as you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like it, right? It's
Yeah.
Right.
but
Where-
it is good to get away. And 99% of California's appeal is its weather.
Mhm.
There's a lot that's not that great, traffic, and it's dry, and everything's always on fire, and but the light is quite nice. Like
No, yeah, and you're doing something different with your hair. I love it.
yeah, well, it's still, the Keanu knows the
Yes.
real color is a mix of very dark, pretty much the same color as yours,
Yes.
and then gray now, which
Yeah, I
honestly,
got
we
that.
love.
Yeah, I got
I'm like,
that.
I survived long enough to get grays. I haven't died.
Yeah, I got that.
And so, but it's spring and summer, so I thought I'd add some highlights. I don't know how I feel about it.
I
What do you
think
guys
I
think?
think I
I
think
love it.
highlights are blonding it out a little bit. I think you get a lot of mileage if you have some gray coming through. Like if
I
I
do.
have my regular dark hair, the grays come through and then that's awful. So you might as
Right?
well. Right. I don't want to be gray. So
Mickey
I can't
went
wait to just go-
Mickey went lighter, like Billy Idol, Miley Cyrus. I don't know how many years ago.
wow.
And I told her never go back ever. This
Because
is
when
her
I go back to
iconic
dark
look.
hair, she literally goes, "Mom, you look so mousy. Get that blonde hair back." Thank you.
I like the blonde on you. Like, for sure, I'm going to go silver in a few more years. My aunt in London is, and it looks amazing.
Does it?
Not quite there yet. And yeah, and I just thought for spring and summer, it was kind of a, and I
love
do,
it.
I have, like you noticed, I have really light eyes.
You
even
do.
like you. And so I think I can sort of pull off lighter hair.
You
I don't know.
definitely can. You definitely can.
You
But
do.
I love the highlights. You look beautiful.
Sorry about the bathrobe.
I love it. We love a robe. We love a lounge
We
moment.
we would not have known.
I'm gonna go in the jacuzzi tonight after this. So
Nice. Great.
I won't keep you too long. I'm so glad you graced us with your presence. What are you in California for? Another magazine cover? or just
yeah,
work in
I'm
general?
gonna shoot with Chris Martin.
Ooh.
And where those will end up depends on publishers and editors. They decide. So they'll be somewhere in 6 to 8 weeks. But
I love it. Okay.
yeah, the weather's it's even better than the light here is the desert light, like Joshua Tree or Death
Oh.
Valley.
Wow.
That
I would love to visit those places.
Mhm.
the lack of humidity in the air makes the light really good for any kind of filming, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's like a Hasselblad. It like blurs out all the flaws. So
Where
It's
where are
true.
you originally from?
I was born in Pennsylvania. My
Okay.
dad taught in state,
Okay.
so smack dab in the middle of the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And we moved to Northern California. My dad got a job teaching in the Bay Area,
Mhm.
and then in 1995, I was 17 and I went to Cal in Berkeley.
Mhm.
Bay. Worked in biotech in Marin County for a couple years afterwards, and hated it and didn't know what else to do. So I ended up doing an MBA in Los Angeles,
Okay.
kind of to pivot, like to change. And all the while, I modeled on the side. I was Miss
Mhm.
Junior California. Is that the douchiest thing you've ever heard?
What
No,
was
it's the
it?
coolest thing ever.
I was a pageant girl. It was
I
so
love
dumb.
it.
I mean, whatever. It was something to do. So I kind of always did that on the side, whether I was in school or working, or whatever. That's pretty common, right? To like have side hustles, and then I worked for almost almost 2 decades after in LA, and I like everybody visited New York and fell in love with it. I think everybody does. There's the born and bred New Yorkers. There's the ones who work in the city and live in either Connecticut or Long Island. And then there's the people who come to New York. We don't belong. We weren't born, but we just are obsessed with it. And so,
I completely understand that.
do you?
Yes, I
Were you a
do.
migrant too?
Pardon me?
Did
I'm
you?
a-
Mickey lives in
I'm from Chicago area, but I live in
Great city.
South Carolina now. But
Pretty.
and I've been to New York several times, but since Keanu moved there, I see a different New York also. And I know I always tell her if she wanted me to move there, I'd sell my house and move there in a minute. But I'd want to rain on the parade. So
I mean,
At one moment, I did say, I was like, Mickey, maybe we could live together. She's like, I'd come there and take care of you if you wanted. I was like, you know what?
wouldn't be the worst.
Maybe not, actually.
well,
but
that's okay. You're getting married now. I can find my own way if I ever decided or you ever let me. You come there.
there is an energy
Still
about
come to
New York.
Michaeline, you can come hang out with me. Like
I
we
would
could-
love to. I would
And-
love to. I think it's so exciting there, really.
it's breathless. It's
It
the
is.
only place maybe kind of like it is Hong Kong that I've ever seen. There's
I-
just an
I've-
energy.
I've been to Hong Kong. It's unbelievable there too. I have been there for a few days. Yes.
Vibrant, right?
Wonderful. Oh my god. No. I went with my brother, okay?
Oh,
He
you didn't like
he did business. He was in fireworks and he would go to China to import fireworks and I went on a business trip with him one time and we spent 3 days in Hong Kong also. It was really, really cool and exciting. I loved it. Yeah. We look
He's-
like some kind of weird twins. My brother.
Did you already have the blonde? They would stare at you because there's not a lot of blondes in Hong Kong.
I didn't. You know what? I was dark haired then. It was a little while ago. So
Okay.
yeah,
that.
it was. I love that. I love that place. Wonderful. So
Yeah,
so,
I've never been to Hong
so
Kong.
you think Hong Kong and New York have the same energy?
Well, yeah. I mean, any big city's got kind of this pulse to it, but I mean, the
Right.
sheer speed of it, right? The
Right.
the water and bays and how you get around is a little bit similar on
Uh-huh.
Hong Kong and Kowloon. How
Yeah.
you can use water transit or trains or sit in traffic. Like
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we went to Kowloon for the Jade Market, and it's so funny. My brother had been going there for literally 40 years. He said, "I never even knew about this Jade Market." Like, well, I'm a tourist here, okay?
Right.
So
I
like
want to
that.
see the jade market. Right.
it was fantastic.
Well, when you visit a place, it's funny. In the 1 year that I've been full time New York, I've gone to one Broadway play, and I
Right.
definitely went to more of them when I just was a visitor. It's
Right.
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 But when
I'm
yeah, it's
kicking
like when
myself.
you're a
I kick
resident,
myself. Yeah, I
you,
kick
you have
myself
it
that
at your
I
disposal at any time, so you don't take advantage of it, sort of.
you never do. I'm kicking myself that I didn't see Ariana Madix in Chicago. She's from a shitty reality show that I love so much, Vanderpump Rules. And
Sure.
I'm like, how could I possibly not have gone and seen that? I live here. It's
I mean,
ridiculous. Yeah.
is she? That show is basically television Citizen Kane. You
It's
can't deny it.
it's my it is my I know them. I feel like I know them. It's like Mickey, like you watch. I was gonna bring up Sex in the City because there is something. If you watch that show, you're like, I must live in New York. I must be Carrie
They're
Bradshaw. I have to
yeah,
go and do
those
it. Right?
they're your girlfriends. I mean, I can watch the entire series over and over and over again because I just feel like they're my girlfriends.
Reality TV, then I feel
That's
like I
funny.
know those people on Vanderpump Rules. I could teach a Harvard level class on all of their lives and personalities. It's addicting. It's horrible, but yes.
Very much.
No,
I
there
think
is. Go
it
ahead.
was New York's. I think I knew I hit 40, mid 40s, and I was like, if I don't do have this experience of living in New York, which many people want to have, it's pretty common. I knew that if I didn't do it now, it would end up my Moby Dick's white whale. It would be one of these things I sort of never did. Never
Yeah, and you don't want to regret anything like that, right? You
right.
should
Mhm.
do it definitely.
Of
So
all the bad decisions I've made so far, this has been a good one. I think
Yes. No,
it's very
I'm
different
so
from what this
glad.
means.
And
The weather is easier here, but
but
everything else is
these
better there.
few months, it's January, February, March. It's just those 3 months in New York where you're like, what? This is just top tier depression. So like when I went to LA for the first time a few months ago with Chrissy and Lila Hart, and I am like, there is something to be said for this weather. Yeah,
there
It
is.
makes you experience time differently because when every day is basically the same day, you do not feel the passage of time.
it's true. That's why everyone looks so
I
young,
love
that and the
that.
Botox. But
I
right,
mean,
That's it.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. California is beautiful. I
It's
think
easier. It's a little slower.
life
It's
is
a little
easier.
um, but I'll tell you the excellence in New York. There are no stupid people. I don't think you could survive there if you were.
all right,
Um, and that
yeah,
hustle is I don't know. It's like a love hate thing, right?
yeah.
Right.
It's
I
like you want sometimes you go out of the house early in the morning and then you have no idea where your day will take you. Even if you didn't plan to stay out the entire day. You're like, okay, now I'm at a speakeasy at 2 o'clock in the morning that's disguised as a shoe repair shop. Like, how did this happen? But that's
even
the allure of it. You're like, oh well, all right.
That's funny.
and,
Yeah.
and there's too much there. Like I had a whole list. My first Christmas full time in New York. Being a nerdy new arrival, I had this list of like all these Christmas things I was gonna the Winter Village and the this and the that. I didn't get to 10% of it because there's just too much in New York. Too much awesome stuff. Like
Right.
There is.
every
There is.
pop up restaurant, every temporary museum. Like it's too much in a good
Right.
way.
And then I swear to God, watching TikToks makes me feel like a terrible New Yorker. I'm like, right in my own neighborhood, there's some weird walk in art museum that I didn't even know about that you could
Right.
just, it's like something. I'm like, how could it? It's like when you're flipping around Netflix and
Yeah.
there's too much, you just recoil and just watch Vanderpump Rules again or The Office.
Or
You don't know
miss
exactly
options on
what to do or how you should be spending your time. Yeah, that's why we don't see the Broadway shows, like, because we're like, oh, we'll get to it. But now, yeah, then they disappear. Or what happened, Mickey? Didn't you come to town because you wanted to see Clive Owen and
Yes, we were gonna
Madame
see
Butterfly?
yeah, we were gonna see it was called something else. It was called Madame M or something.
Yeah.
And I bought the tickets. We came to New York. It was like for a Christmas present. We were going to go to a matinee. We hurried up. We got there. I don't know if Rocco was with us, but I think you.
No, I think you guys
It
came.
was just
Rocco was in
it was just Tom
Israel.
and me. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rocco was in Israel, so
Yeah.
it was just you and me and Dad, and we got there, and it was already closed. They already canceled it. They already closed it, and I love Clive Owen, and I didn't. I mean, I didn't see the ticket refund till later, on your
You just
email or
didn't
whatever.
realize that
We
it
just
had
went, oh my
gone. Yeah.
God, it's closed. That's why we're here. So
Mm.
instead, we went to an Irish pub and hung out and got a little drunk, and then we went to see
Gilbert Godfrey.
we went to see Gilbert Godfrey at Caroline's. That was really fun too.
It was
So,
fun.
He's
But that's the thing about
equally
New York,
sexy
right?
as Clive Owen.
What's
Pardon me?
that?
Equally sexy to Clive Owen.
Oh, that's right.
He has a
I love Clive Owen. Oh my
No.
God. Holy
he has a
cow.
strange mushy face that Michaeline likes, and he is sexy somehow.
He
in
is
an
sexy.
ugly
He's
way.
got this odd look about him. He's cool.
Hot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
is.
he is.
Well, and to your point, Keanu, how an evening can just unfold because everything's like 15 minutes away.
Right.
That is very different than in the West where you're going to sit 2 hours in traffic to go see a friend. So you'll have
Right.
friends who live in the other side of LA and you haven't seen them in 5 years.
You have
Right.
to really love driving if you're going to be there, right?
I've sat in enough traffic for 10 lifetimes. I'd be
Yeah,
fine.
I believe it.
Is South
Yeah.
Carolina, do you have bad traffic?
South Carolina, and I live in Rockville, South Carolina. No, it's not anything compared to California. My cousin lives in California. She's in she was in San Diego for a while, but she's in Sacramento now, and the traffic is horrendous. I know that it is. No,
Yeah.
South Carolina is. We're in a really. This is a small town. Rock Hill trying to grow up. They've been trying to grow up for 20 years.
But
It's all right. It's all right.
I loved growing up in South Carolina
it's all right.
because if I grew up in Chicago, I would be a completely different human
You
being. I
would be,
feel.
of course, of course.
So I like that. I obviously I like the weather, and I love Charleston. I'm getting married in Charleston. I went to college there. I love it. If I were ever to leave New York, I suppose I would go to Charleston. But it's good to have it's good that you've lived different places, so you've sort of you had to go to New York because you felt that you had to go there, but you also get to leave it for work. Yeah.
And I didn't I'm not married. I don't have kids. The one thing I have is freedom, and I'm going to enjoy that this lifetime. Next lifetime around, I'll do other things, but because this lifetime my mast in the wind was sort of freedom, perhaps a bit selfish, but hey, I was going to.
It's not selfish. It's a great thing. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's wonderful. The status quo of what we've been told is happily ever after is not really that. So you make your own way. You make your own rules. You do what you want to do. So
I found it very easy to make friends in New York. If you have a dog, you meet friends. If you go to yoga classes, you meet like other people.
Of course.
And New Yorkers are much nicer than they're purported to be.
We thought that too when we first came
completely
here,
agree
Mickey,
with
didn't
that.
we? Yeah.
I grew up in Chicago, and I never had any desire to go to New York. I'm like, I'm from Chicago. What do I need New York for? But New York does get a bad rap because I found the people in New York to be so friendly, so nice. Everybody. So
They're just busy. They're just fast and busy. It's not.
Yeah. But they're polite and nice. I think it's a great place. And Chicago and New York are so different. Holy shit.
Oh my God, they really are.
And I love Chicago, but New York is a whole different thing, So
And you have the luxury of so I just played a clip. I first met you on Chrissy Mears Wet Spot. And I asked you if you were single, and then I said, now tell me your deepest, darkest secret. And then you made a funny joke, which was hilarious. But yeah, you have the luxury of traveling around and doing whatever you want. So you're have you ever been married or anything?
I was engaged. And decided to torpedo that. I don't know. I was maybe right guy, wrong age. I was pretty young and not ready. He was
Yeah.
nothing was wrong with him, but I wanted to live in a bigger city, which this is before I moved to LA. I
Right.
met somebody lovely when I was in undergrad, and I was going to be one of these girls who went to college, met her husband, graduated from college, got married. He was a bit older, so I would have been having kids earlier than I would have wanted. It's a fairly common
Right.
story for a lot of
Yeah.
women.
Right.
I
Yeah.
was, and he lived near my parents. It would have been perfect, but I was staring down the barrel of my whole life being decided for me, and I wanted to go do other things. I wanted to live in a big city, make my own money, maybe fuck somebody else. He was the
Yeah.
first.
Have
Oh my
sex with
God.
another human other than you. Right.
I
Exactly.
did. I then did that quite a bit more than I thought I was going to. But
That's
eh,
okay. Why
um,
not?
I'm not sorry. It was fun.
Fuck yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You got it. You can't.
Continues to be. I
Yeah.
do what I want. So I just felt suffocated. We lived together and we're engaged, and I literally felt like I was being suffocated. I felt it. And so I went to grad school in LA and we broke up, and I was sort of okay with that, even though I missed him deeply. And he did just fine. He married somebody, he married a doctor younger than me, and they had a son. He is just fine.
Oh yeah.
Of
I'm sure
course,
he's just
of
like,
course.
okay, whatever.
You know what?
Fine. Yeah.
And at your young age, it's good that you are aware that you didn't really want to do this. So
I
that's
saw
the thing.
our mothers and grandmothers' lives, and that's a fine life.
No, it's
But I just, I dreamt of flying planes and shooting guns, and I dreamt of other things.
yes, and good
I
for you.
love that.
That's a good
You
thing.
know, because my parents always said, my mom said, well, I love Visconti, but I never thought I would ever get married. But he's like right for me, right? And also, he's so elderly. Once he passes on, I'll live second life. I'll be what, maybe 40 when he's
There you
80.
go.
Yes, exactly. I tease. He hates
It's a
that
good
joke.
strategy.
But I never thought I would ever get married. My parents were always like, live your life, have fun. Mickey, I remember one time I was walking up the stairs and she said, Keanu. And I was like, yes. She said, do you want to have fun and live your life? Or do you want to get married and do laundry? I went,
Yeah, it was like follow your dreams.
yes.
Or get married and do laundry. I don't know. I was in perverse moods.
I heard the same from my mother at times. But then my sister's married to a wonderful man who's a total partner. He helped with kids, helps with the house. He's not like some domineering, terrible
Right.
1800s husband. So
Right.
it's not to say that it wouldn't have been a better life. I don't know.
Well,
like I
it's
said,
just a different life. It would just
It's a
have been a
different life.
different life. You are where you're supposed to be in life. That
Right.
Thanks.
what's meant for you will come to you, and that's how I feel about it.
That's true.
I didn't get married till I was 30, and this was opposite though. I married a guy 6 years younger than me. So we're divorced now, but we were married for 24 years, 22 years. And I mean, and we've got Rocco and Keanu.
Yeah, and they get along
lovely people.
fine. I mean,
Our
we
lovely
spend every
people.
holiday together,
Yeah, our lovely
It was
people.
the best thing they did to get divorced, but I feel like we live many
Yeah.
lives. I
Yeah,
love
but
that you
but when you're not
Yeah.
happy anymore, or when it's not working out, you have to change it, and that's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I'll get
McGuinevere is
85. I don't know. By the time we're mad at each other, we'll be dead. It'll be fine. I don't know. If I could, do you ever dream about like what life you could have if you could have any life? Like money didn't matter, location. Like I would love to be like one of these little old ladies on the Upper East Side with like a tiny dog or cat, or
You
or-
would?
and like little
Yes.
old lady twins, and we're
I-
buying tea and coffee.
I
That life.
fully plan on being a little old lady on the Upper East Side. I love the Upper East Side. I worked there. Remember my friend Michaeline
Carrie.
Carrie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she was great.
I adore it. I want to age into an old Upper East Side lady that summers in the Hamptons and just has in pearls. She wears pearls to bed in her fur coats, and I'm just crazy. Right? I would love that. Just incredible wealth. That is like my ideal. That's where I'm
And-
trying to head.
And some evil demon cat, this one or another, and you'll have it leash trained.
Oh
That
my
cat
God.
will outlive Gino just to spite me. I swear she will. She's
That cat
evil.
is frightening. Oh my gosh. Just frightening.
I think she
No.
wanted to square up with you when you hissed at her.
She did. I've never seen a cat lunge at someone. I talk about this on my show all the time because I talk about my life. I have no idea what to do with her. I try and try. If I try and snuggle her or anything, I walk around my own home terrified.
Does
She's very evil.
she likes him or not him either?
She loves him.
Oh, well, this is it. She's competing for him.
Yeah,
She's
she
mistress.
snuggles him. Yeah, I get it. It's absolutely wild. Yeah, she's really just
Morning, Kiki.
God. She's got
Yeah.
this sweet face and then those terrifying teeth. And
I've just never seen a cat also just lunge at you, go out of their way to lunge at you before. Normally, if a cat doesn't like you, that would be fine. They would just hide under the bed. She lies in wait
Yeah, she's gonna get.
and then purposely comes after me. It's wild. I'll show you one more. She's crazy.
It's gonna be okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like a little tiger. I love you. I. We can make this work. Don't you worry. All right.
She hates you.
Pure, unabashed disdain and hatred. Yes.
I think maybe it's Gino. She's like, I'm his woman and you are not.
I think
Maybe.
that's what it is. He bottle fed her from. He found her like in a dumpster, and some weird man was like, "That's your cat. You must take that cat." And Gino's very all about energy and things like this. And then he bottle fed her, and I think she was 4 days old, so she imprinted on him like a werewolf, and somehow.
oh my
Yeah,
God.
anybody else is an enemy.
That's
Anybody,
crazy.
yes,
Oh my
goes
gosh.
out of her way. It's bizarre. I can't even. The thought of me even like trying to. People are like, you could just try and pick her up. I'm like, she will claw my eyes out.
Really?
100%. Do you have pets at all?
Mm,
Pet
I
person?
do.
You
I
do.
will show you. Since
Are
you
you a
asked,
dog person? Yes.
I have what might be the ugliest dog that exists.
That's funny.
Okay. I wish he was here, but he's not. But that's my dog.
Oh,
I love
God,
him.
so flippin' cute.
Oh
Are
my
you kidding me?
God.
What is
He's
this dog?
yeah, he's 7 pounds. So he's
Oh.
the size of a very small cat. name
Little
is Nigel.
gremlin. What kind of a
He-
dog is that?
It's called a Brussels Griffin. It's
Oh
a
my
breed, even though it looks
God.
like a trash can creature.
I've heard of that breed.
They come in black as well.
And what's his
and-
name? Is a girl?
Nigel.
A boy?
His name is Nigel.
Nigel.
And he's going to be 9 on Cinco de Mayo. So now he's becoming a little old man.
He's so damn cute. Oh my God.
Like people in New York will walk around and they'll get startled because he comes in like underfoot, like an oversized New York street rat.
Right.
And they get terrified because he's hideous, but he's my friend. I mean,
Oh my
he's a
God.
cat.
Amy,
Was
I
it-
knew. I was telling them before you got here. I click with you immediately. I love an ugly dog.
Yeah.
We're pug people. I have my dog Harlem at home. He's a pug. He's a gorgeous pug. But like, remember Oliver? We've always
But
had
pugs are
and-
ugly.
but they're ugly, but
the
in a
best
cute way.
In
Yeah,
the best way. Yes.
that's
And they're
Harlem.
all they want is love. They're like little loaves of bread that just, baby, there he is with his little
Really?
face.
He's such a goofball.
Which,
I know.
which one is that?
That's Harlem. And if you saw Smash, you'd be like, Jesus, their tongues are never in their mouths. They're goofy. They look like little old men, but it's adorable. You know, who wants a cute dog?
They
You
remind me
want
like-
the-
Like a little old French man, maybe on the Upper East Side, just at a cafe, having an espresso, complaining about life, but he's not really unhappy. And yeah. And his name is
Oh.
like like Ugolan or Pierre.
Yeah,
And he's just like,
Pierre. Yeah.
yeah.
Or Sven. It's a
Sven,
little-
I like it.
Sven.
Nigel's
Yes, hello.
essentially
is
a pug
Sven.
with long hair, and he starts it with like big dogs, which is great.
But
Wait,
he's so
wait.
skinny. He's so skinny haired and bodied, and then he's just got this. Is this the kind of dog that was in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? Is that a Brussels
A
Griffin?
Brussels Griffin, and they win that Brussels Griffin continually win the award every year for like ugliest dog on earth.
Yeah.
There's one Brussels Griffin, and it's like, well, is yours hairless on the body? Because a lot of them are. It looked like
He
it.
doesn't have great hair. Some do. He's healthy, but yeah, they're pretty ugly. I think they never win AKC. Maybe once, maybe never. And they're related to Affenpinchers. They're like a little weird random breed, and I
Do you
like a
take
little,
him back and forth with you?
sometimes, not this time, but
Okay.
some. Yeah, and I mean, nobody ever notices he's there because he's literally half the size of a cat. So
Right.
and now especially he's old. The only problem is in Manhattan there's a lot of squirrels living their best life, lots of trash, lots of tourists,
Mhm.
and like many little dogs, dreams of getting one. No shot whatsoever. They sit up in the trees, basically telling him to go fuck himself, and he
That is
loses
hilarious.
his mind, which is real peaceful for people trying to like sit outside in the sunshine and read. Maybe
Right.
this little
my gosh.
asshole just, but he's a
Oh.
friend, and you know when this is what happens when you don't have children, you know you need something to care for.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, even if you do have children, you have pets too, and whatever. I have children who I'm an orphan now. They both moved away from me to great cities. Okay,
Now that makes you an orphan.
and I'm an orphan. It's just because somebody said something today about like, it was a Bible quote. Don't ask me how I got involved in that. Okay.
Mickey was at the wine bar before
I was at the wine
she
bar
came
before.
out, and
The wine bar's down my street here.
It sounds
So,
very
but-
South Carolina. A
But
Bible quote.
this is the South, okay? We're in the buckle of the Bible Belt, seriously, right here.
and
So
someone quoted the
it
Bible
always
to
comes
you
up.
at the wine
Those-
bar.
what?
Someone quoted the Bible to you at the
Something
wine
like
bar.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I was in Alabama and saw a church group going to see Magic Mike together at the movie theater. They were adorable little ladies in Huntsville, Alabama, giggling about how naughty they were in line for Magic Mike, and it was a church group. And I
Yeah.
Trying to say
yeah.
something called Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Ooh,
This
they
was a guy
naughty.
who quoted that to me. Okay, it was a
It
guy.
Well, what was the quote?
And
What advice
It was
was he
something
trying to
about
give you?
orphans and children, or something about orphans and widows. And he said, "Are you a widow?" And I went, "No, I'm an orphan."
How
I'll
are
have to
you
look
a
it up.
widow?
The Bible quote was something I don't know what it was. Okay, because I
How
don't.
dare you? Not,
They got
not be able to read
Whatever.
scripture.
So the orphans came up tonight. So I just said I said no, I'm an orphan. My kids left me here. So that's
there's, everywhere has airports. You can be
That's
anywhere.
right.
you
I'm
want.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't rain on either one of their parades. My son lives in Austin, Texas. So
Move in
that's a
with
pretty
you
cool
and
place.
Gino and the Devil Cat. It'll be really fun.
no, I'm not going to move in with you. I would have my own life. Okay. I'm
You
very
can also-
independent also.
I know. My God.
I would never get married again. Not ever. So
Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun
Not
too. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you have hot tub moments. I always have a list of questions. I want to know how you got into the industry that you're currently in, and how are okay, so you're on a billboard in Times Square. What was it? Did you
Oh,
get to
it's
go and
so
look at it?
fun.
It was rainy on one of the days they said I could, but the makeup artist, she went and sent me a little bit of footage.
So cool.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, I think anybody you can, like, that's a PR thing, just like a magazine cover. Like, I think they even allow people to post commercials on Times Square if you have enough money. I don't know what it takes, but like a billboard on the side of a freeway, I think it's a thing that anybody can do. Probably you couldn't like put like an advertisement for crack up there or something. Maybe. But Coral Avenue magazine promotes themselves that way, and I just happened to be the cover this past month.
Oh,
So
it did it so you
it
I
wasn't
love
about
that
me.
you didn't have the moment of like going and looking at it and like being like, wow, oh,
I should have, but
you're
I
too cool. You're like, oh yeah, I should be on a billboard. That's
So
awesome. Yeah.
well, and the makeup artist told me it was literally like a second. It was they rotate through, so like the 4 photos she said was like 4 seconds, maybe. Like
It's
maybe.
a lot more than anybody else achieves. I mean, you
I didn't
know,
want to go there and see that absolutely no one even looks up, right? Probably they don't. Nobody
So,
cares.
so you model and you do promotional things, or
Yeah, well,
Tell me- yeah, tell me
so-
exactly what your career
when I
entails.
was a teenager, a guy in a mall scouted me, and you wonder if it's like a creepy pedophile, but he wasn't. He owned Rogue Studios and a modeling agency.
Mm-hmm.
That big of a deal for because Northern California, it wasn't Paris or London or New York, but it was small time stuff. And my dad made sure he wasn't a creep, and indeed, I guess I got lucky because he wasn't. My father went with me to the first couple shoots to make sure it was on the up and up, and it
Yeah.
was. So I started doing like little runway shows, like in the mall and for like
Right.
Ease and the Gap, and then I didn't keep getting taller. My sister's really tall, and I stopped growing, so editorial like runway was stopped being possible for me. But then
Right.
I could do like the hang tags on clothing or catalog work, stills.
So how tall are you?
I'm only 5'6", bare feet.
5'6".
So
Okay, so you couldn't do like, yeah.
and I like to eat. I'm too fat for editorial
Oh,
too.
please.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not
You
fat,
are-
but I'm not going to starve myself like they do. It's not. I'm not going to live like that.
Right.
Even when I was younger, it's not. Your brain doesn't work right if you're always starving, and I
I
don't want.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree.
And unless you're like one of the best, you don't even make enough for it to be worth it. So I'm not doing that.
Right.
So then, yeah, I did a pageant, and then in college in the East Bay, I didn't really model that much for 4 years because I was busy in college doing other things. But then when I moved to LA, it's so easy to have a headshot and do a little modeling, do a little acting, whatever, because you're in LA and there's so much of that, right?
Right.
So a lot of people, whatever else they're also doing, in my case, grad school, you can also do a work tangentially in stuff like that. So I had headshots. I did a lot of fitness. There was about a decade there where I was like shredded. So I was
love that.
yeah, it's a lot of
Well,
work.
He has a lot of
you're
work,
in-
but it's wonderful.
Yeah, I
you're
did, like,
in
muscle
incredible
invasions
shape,
and
though. I
Sports
mean,
Illustrated.
you're in incredible shape, like perfect
Thank
body.
you.
Like, yeah,
Less so now. New York winter was. I had fat girl winter in New York.
it
it wasn't good.
Yes,
It's hard. It's hard to stay not depressed in gloomy climes like that.
And then you what? And then you seamless things, and right?
I-
Exactly.
I thought first winter full time in New York. I'm like, I'll just go downstairs to the gym all the time. Yeah, that's not what happened at all. I watched Netflix and ate a lot of carbs. So
And got under your
As
blanket.
you
because It was
should.
gloomy out.
next winter, I might go like Airbnb in California or Florida for a couple months or something. We'll see.
Definitely. If
Well,
you,
that's
if you
what-
can
when
do
we're
that, I
when
think
we're
that's a
living
definite
together
plus.
as elderly Upper East Side ladies, when we're extremely wealthy and we'll live together and we'll start a reality show, then we'll summer in Florida or something. We'll get out of town for the winter months, right? Yes.
Your lips to God's ears. I like this plan.
I love this plan.
I'm going to be on a
And
beach
now-
somewhere, you guys. I'm not
That's
going to do that.
Charleston. Let's do
We'll
it.
come to you.
I'm going to be on a beach somewhere.
Perfect. We'll come where you are.
So
So now being over 40, I do like it's never a better. So there's a whole genre called gray modeling. I don't love that word, but like they're realizing a lot of fashion brands and fitness brands and other
Mhm.
makeup products. They're realizing that guess who has all the cash? Old people. So they're starting to put more mature people into ads as long as you look good. And yeah, they retouch it a lot, which sucks, but they are trying to use more older models.
And that's
Um,
great. I mean, that's great. I
Great.
think. Yeah.
right, you've made a career of it. So
Well, there's room for more than one definition of beauty, more than one height or weight or race or age, right?
There is absolutely. You're absolutely true.
Right. And
Yeah.
look at Michaeline. She's, what are you, 80? I'm just kidding. She's 60.
68.
Okay, she's 68
I'm
though.
gonna gonna be
You're
70 in 2 years.
gorgeous, and you look cool with the sleeve. Like,
She is. She's cool. I've
Thanks.
always said
Thanks. And I
it's
never
not
want to tell somebody that I'm not that age. I am. So what? You know?
right. Exactly.
I don't think that
You
way.
are.
I don't think that
and who
way.
cares?
I don't,
What are you gonna not age? How riveting, young people. Good luck with
yeah,
that.
I know.
mean,
So people who call people old or say they're this or that, I'm just like, you guys, it's your future. So shut up.
and
Right.
it's
And now we put botulism in our faces and we freeze them. And that's that. That is the way of the world. Exactly. See? Right. Even you, it's preventative.
none of this is original equipment. None of it.
I love it.
I love it. I said,
You are
I will-
beautiful.
Right.
You are.
Everything
so
store
beautiful.
bought, store bought.
Look at freaking
Not
look
do,
Look
but
at you.
whatever. It's my body. I can do it. But yeah, I think I was and there's plenty of people that are pretty, but like any business, I showed up on time. I was reliable. I did my job, reasonably pleasant on set, so I kept getting work. I think it's
Right.
just like anything else, right? If you're
Hell
nice to
yeah.
work with, you get work. So
Of course.
That-
and
you're
I know
speaking
you're
my
downplaying
language,
your beauty
yeah.
though, but you're downplaying your beauty. You are a gorgeous, gorgeous woman. So
She's stunningly beautiful. Shockingly. It's yeah. She is. She is. To see her in person, it's like, oh my God. Yeah.
And
So
not only are you beautiful, you're nice. You've got a great, good
It's easier.
personality.
It's
It
easy.
is. It is.
to be kind. And if you find somebody that you don't work well with or don't like, you just move on. It's just
Of
easy.
course.
Right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took me a while to realize that. I wasted a lot of energy when I was young. I think people do, but and I hope wherever it takes me, I would like to see more representations of you. I think people like to see themselves in magazines. They like to know that it's not just 6 foot tall, 14-year-old chicks from Scandinavia. Nothing against they're stunning, but
No, right.
Right.
But that's not that's not a model or a thing that anybody could maintain. I mean,
well, and yes,
not-
and it's we're so used to seeing right. So I'm 5'6", just like you, right? But 5'7" is normal model height, right? And then you go, well, somebody that's 5'8", 5'9", and you put clothes and rail thin, you put clothes on them. Of course, the clothes are gonna look good.
Yeah,
It's not a proper representation about like. That's why everybody looks like such shit all the time.
yeah. Well, and honestly,
Yeah.
modeling's changing a lot because a lot of it is about your social media now. They want the eyeballs
yeah.
that watch you. So if you can be interesting, even while, yeah, you can't be ugly. That's the job. But if you can be interesting and compelling, they
Mhm.
will often choose you over the perhaps more conventionally perfect body or face.
Mhm, mhm.
Oh,
They want
yeah.
the audience, right?
Right. And it is, and you even see it you see it everywhere now. It's every shape, size, and color human being on earth now modeling, which is great, and age exactly. So,
Yeah, why
which
not?
I
mean,
don't think that's a bad thing.
no.
Right.
And
I think
it's-
I think it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I also, after my MBA, I worked for an oil company. I did other things too for
An
more
oil company.
Yeah. So I had other, and then I became a flight instructor because I liked flying planes. So I taught flying for a while.
Wow,
I've done other
excellent.
things for like the benefits and the retirement, the 401ks and things, because modeling can be an unstable income, right?
Right.
But I think,
So you became a pilot?
yeah, yeah, I still am. Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's amazing.
Well,
Yeah, it's
when you don't get
amazing,
married or have
yes.
kids, you end up with a lot of extra time, right?
Wow, that's
So-
amazing.
It's very easy. Planes have autopilot. It's actually easier than driving.
my
Well,
Oh my
some-
God! So, like, if a plane is going down and we're flying together back from back from Florida or Cancun or something, you could be like, or the pilot has a heart attack, God forbid. You could be like, oh, I got it, and just sit
Well,
down there and
Well,
fly.
so I would know where the push to talk button is to call for Mayday and to try to get help. I would know where that is. But the problem is planes, they're all different, kind of like cars and trucks and vans. And so
Right.
they all have to be at a pretty exact speed to land properly. So I could probably get it down like 100 foot off the runway, and then I might kill us all on landing.
But at least we'd have a chance.
But that's okay.
It wouldn't be
If you've
pretty,
got somebody
but
to
we
talk
might
you down,
live.
right? You could do it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're real different. Like the speed over the gate, the speed at which the gear comes down, the flaps come out. Like those are precise to that plane. So that's why most pilots don't fly lots of different planes, because you kind of want to
You want to
your-
know what you're right. Like I
Yeah.
love driving a Mini Cooper. That's my car.
Do you
I
ever
drive
get
the
in-
Mini Cooper the best, right?
Do you ever get
So-
like a rental car or something that's very different and it's kind of wonky at first because you're not used to it?
or right, or like
course.
it scares the shit out of you, or it's like automatic versus stick shift. I could never. It's not worth my quality of life to learn how to drive Gino's stick shift car. I won't do it. I don't
has
want
one?
to.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, right, and it's terrifying every time we drive. I don't see the reason for it. I find it completely ridiculous, but he loves it. But I don't want to learn how to drive it because
Fair.
I would be too distracted anyway. But yes, I see what you're saying. So every airplane's different, but you could probably, if it were a dire situation, land the plane. That is amazing.
I think if it was like the big A380, I'm fucked. But like, I mean, I've flown turboprops. I'm typed in the CRJ. I've flown a lot of little piston single and multis. So some of them we might live. It'd be dicey, but I'd try. I mean, might as well, right? But
I just
You're-
love that about you.
you're
You
an
grab the
amazing-
gusto of life.
really.
Yeah.
as do you guys. I mean, you're delightfully alive, and one has to be, right? While we're
I
here.
know, Mom. I told you you'd love her.
I
just
do.
love her. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Holy moly. Okay, yeah.
guys
So
need it.
Amy Earhart, we love it.
Oh, God. Hopefully, I don't end up like her on an island.
Oh
lost.
yeah, no.
You know, I think, jokes aside, I feel so lucky to be a woman at this time in America where I can live my dreams. I can live as full of an expression of a human life as other people get to live if I so choose. And I'm not going to waste that gift because that was not that way for our female ancestors. And
I
it is
agree.
not that way for most women in the world.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really great time for women. White males, I don't know so much. They're getting a bad rap these days.
They'll be okay.
But they'll come back around. But
We
no,
still love
it's so true. It's no matter the times have shifted where it's like slut
We had
shaming's
so-
over, ain't you heard? It's good for it is really good, especially in the entertainment industry for women right now.
Well, and white men, people may be kind of insulting them right now, but look, you live in New York. When you walk around, who's keeping the city, repairing the potholes, doing the wiring? It's all men. So we need them
I
to, like,
know.
when we
That's true. That's
it's-
true.
no one really hates them. They're just, getting clapped back at for a while, but we love them.
Yeah, it'll pass. I feel bad for the white men, right? I do feel bad because you're right. We couldn't Kumia says something like, speaking of flying planes, me and Chrissy were talking about it. I have one thing I do get, like, he's like, you want to see like an old hairy white man's elbow when you look into the cockpit and you'll be safe or something. And I do think, I'm like, if I did turn in there and I saw a woman, I would even have something be like,
It's true because we're so conditioned.
We
unless
are
they
only
were Amy. I'd be
Because
like,
we're so conditioned to
yeah.
think only men can do stuff, and that's
Well,
not true.
But
Well,
it isn't true. We are conditioned to think it though. But you're just going like, oh boy.
Before hydraulics, you had to be physically strong. If you were in the B-52 and you lost outboard number 1, the torque on the plane, a woman probably could not straighten that out and land it. Probably
Oh,
not. You probably
okay.
did need to be a man.
Yeah, it's the one
It's
thing
not
I
that
think
way now,
women.
that's not people.
Yeah, it's just the funniest thing. Because I'm always like, yeah, I'm self-sufficient. I can do anything, but I still have that weird bias where I'm like, is that a lady in there?
I'm not.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
sorority that built this hotel. It's a bunch of dudes, right?
that's true. That's true. I think I'm hoping in the future. I'm so glad for women right now. That makes that in the entertainment industry, we got past the Harvey Weinstein sort of moment and all that stuff. Like now it's we'll get back. White men will be okay again. They'll be fine.
Everything goes this way, and then it comes back to the center, and it's okay.
Yes.
Did
it's
you
a
ever notice there's
pendulum.
no hashtag Me Too for like good-looking men? Not one,
I know.
right? We were just
Yeah,
trying to
me
get rid of
too.
the ugly ones, I think. Mario Batali, Harvey. Oh, nobody's gonna. Brad Pitt's never getting hashtag Me Too. He could be a complete serial rapist, and people would be fine.
They're
I
like,
know.
fine.
That's a joke. Joke.
He tied me up in his basement.
I
and
know it's a joke.
beat the
but you
shit
still
out of
wanna
me,
go out-
but it was
it's a
fine.
joke,
It was
but even
Brad
if he
Pitt.
was, you still want to go out with him.
I'd like him to wreck me, please. No, I mean, it's hashtag Me Too was we don't want the ones we don't want coming after us.
Exactly. No, it's
No, it's
true. It's
true.
like, well, and also,
Yeah, I
you-
didn't agree with all that.
right? Like Brad Pitt wouldn't come into a plant. He would never answer his
What is
door in
that
a robe
like?
and be like weird, you know?
Yeah. He just into a plant, right? Harvey Weinstein.
Yes, I think so.
Right.
And yeah, the fact that everybody
Well, that
defended
was
him for so
respectful
long.
that he didn't put it all over the lady.
I suppose.
Right. What a gentleman.
He's
Or
watering
Amber.
the plant. It's like, hey, Nicole Kidman, come on over and we'll have a meeting in my hotel room and then I'll jizz into a plant. But I'm just watering the plant. It's fine.
The pursuit thing, even when I was a kid, as like a teenager, you guys were supposed to chase and girls were supposed to kind of say no, but not really. It was a thing.
Right. It is.
I'm sorry, and
Right.
and I'm of the age where a guy appreciated a woman, and if they whistled at her or they appreciated her by saying some maybe what everybody thinks is untoward now, I'm sorry, that was kind of a fun thing for women. It was.
That has
to be
never bugged me in my
appreciated.
life. Somebody being like, "Oh,
So.
Gino's a charming elderly man." But when he would go before we were even dating, he'd be like, "Hey, hottie," I'm like, "Yay!" I don't know, something about that just makes you like,
Yeah, well, if you're the wrong woman and he says, "Hey, hottie," they're gonna take it the wrong way and
It's
take
true,
it
right.
of whatever. And
Or if
I'm-
he looks like Harvey
I'm-
Weinstein, he's not allowed to say that to anybody ever.
No, that's a fact too. You know what? I'm sorry, but yeah, pretty
Sorry.
people get away with stuff, and
Yeah.
that's
I
such a
just
good
noticed.
point about Brad Pitt. Yeah, prettier people can get away with more, I guess.
It's not great, but
Yeah.
well, it's the truth. So
yeah.
it's all
And I
right.
think
True.
you see a lot of shenanigans in aviation, frankly. Male and female pilots doing layovers together, stuff happens. Most of the time it's fine, sometimes it's not, but the world navigates these things and muddles through, and I have faith that in the end most people are good and most people
I
are
agree.
kind, and we
You're
kind
right.
of messily
Yeah.
get our way through it as things change, ever they stay the same. You're not going to fight biology. Men and women have to get together whether they like it or not, and they always
For the-
will.
Yeah,
And we-
They will, right? We got to populate the earth somehow. So,
And it's
you
fun.
know.
So
Although I
is.
don't want and you don't have children and don't want them, correct? Yes.
I would have to do it in like the next year and a half if I was going to do it now. It'd have to be
No.
like I froze eggs a long time ago, but I don't know. I think I don't. That would have to be like immediately, and I don't have any prospects who are exactly. I'm a lot to like be married to and full time. You only know me.
Well, the chic thing, I guess, if you froze your just everybody in LA, they're just having a baby on your own if you just want one.
Like a
But,
surrogate. I have friends who've hired surrogates because the old dusty uterus was too old. And they're fine. Baby's fine. Surrogate's fine. Parents are fine. I mean, there's lots of other options that didn't used to exist, but I'm not married. I don't even have a serious boyfriend right now. So
Right.
I'm nowhere near. And I do still think it's nice for a kid to have a mom and a dad, if
I agree.
possible. Don't have to live together, but be friendly. I liked having both.
yeah.
I don't think that's in this life.
I think it's hard to be a single mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a single mom, but I just think it would be a hard thing to do. It's a lot for a husband and wife to do.
I think me and
It
Amy will
really
be
is.
peak childless, rich roommates on the Upper East Side.
You and Gino aren't going to, or it's not my
No,
business.
no, no. I don't want a kid at all. I would. My anxiety would just. It terrifies me. If I always said to him, if I were, he is 24 years older than me too.
Right?
You don't want the man at the graduation with a walker coming in. You know.
You're gonna have enough. You're gonna have enough to take care of without
In
a kid.
Hollywood, they make joke because all these old Hollywood celebrities marry a much younger woman. They have a kid, and they literally joke about the next husband will be the father raising
Well,
the kid.
yeah,
Of
exactly.
course. I mean, of course.
But I've just never wanted one. Number one, just autonomy over your own body. Something about that, just something is growing inside of you. And then I have a reoccurring nightmare that I'm like pregnant and I didn't know it, or something that it's a nightmare. It's not a dream. It's a nightmare. I'm like terrified of it. And not that I wouldn't love it. I would love it. I would love to squish a little baby, but I would
Mm.
never relax ever again. I would never sleep again.
Well,
I'd be
ask your
like,
mom. Don't you love and worry about them forever, no matter what?
There's never a moment that you don't.
It's
It's
horrible.
there's never once you have those babies, that's you worry about them constantly, and it doesn't matter how old they are. They can be in their 50s. I mean, if you're 50, how old am I going to be? 70,
I don't
80,
know.
87.
Spring chicken. My
I had them
sister
at 30. I had them at 35 and
Heart walk.
37. So
I just
no, but you
knew-
never,
yeah.
there's never a moment of not worrying about them. So
I know that's not for me. At least, yeah. And no, not at least, not yet. I know that's not for me. But
I mean,
he's
it's
okay
the
with
most-
that. So
The
but-
most difficult and beautiful undertaking. I've seen my sister do it more than once, and I can't believe she does. It seems so beautiful, but she says it's like watching your heart walk around outside your body because
I-
Oh my God, where this? It's like
agree.
watching your heart trip and fall and scrape its knee. Yeah, and you're like,
I
no.
completely. I agree completely. It's
I can't even.
a lot. Sometimes you just have to turn your mind off, really.
Well, and you want to protect them. Even my nieces and nephews, you want to protect them from the world, but not only can you not. That's Delulu.
No, of
But you
course.
should. They have to grow up.
Right. You have to
Yeah.
let them go. Of course. I always told my kids to follow their dreams, and they have, and I'm glad of that. And I'm just kidding about them leaving me as an orphan. I have a whole life here. Okay. I don't need them around me all the time.
And we're doing
Although
just
I'm going to tell you
fine.
straight up, I have the best time on a vacation with this chick here.
We vacation very well together.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. We're both a little wild and fun. So
I mean, keeping something alive. So I had the horrific on the way here, the day before yesterday. I went to walk Nigel, and I go down the elevator. I get in the elevator,
Nigel.
door shuts. I have a leash. Nigel's on the other side.
oh my God. Was he
I
connected?
hear him
to
holler. I scream, immediately press the alarm. Elevator doesn't stop.
Oh,
Leash snaps.
Thank
Within
God it
3
snapped.
floors, it snapped. It wasn't long enough, right? I get down to the lobby. I immediately go right back up, thinking, I don't know what I'm going to see, right?
right.
And he was just standing there. The harness came off.
Thank God.
I didn't want to get the security footage to see if he like went flying against the shut doors. I don't.
Holy
Thank God.
moly.
Thank God.
To your point, Michael, I'm like, I had a whole meltdown about like, I can't take care of anything. I don't have a husband. I don't have a kid. I had to call my mother, and my mom was like, hey, calm down. You're not like, I was like, I'm a failure and everything. Like, I almost killed my dog. Like, it was a whole vibe.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
scary.
God, I'm so
Scary.
I
sorry.
can't believe you like kept this one alive to adulthood. Like, is amazing. It's ridiculous.
That's what I'm terrified of. That's why I can't have a dog in New York. I could never. I'm so glad my dog is. My dad and I share the dog, but it's safe in South Carolina. He has a yard. Let alone a child. What if you're a leash child and he stays outside the elevator? Then what? Right. I know someone. I literally know somebody whose dog has died that way in the elevator thing. Right.
Oh
And I'm
my
going like,
God.
That,
Oh my
I would
God.
never forgive myself.
Honestly, I'm still seeing it behind my eyes. I'll be
Yeah.
fine. But like,
No, and you
I
had a
don't
harness
know.
on him, which is probably for the best, right? Oh,
I was texting distracted like an asshole. And like, like
it
with
happens though.
humans,
Yeah.
you're responsible for this thing's life.
Right.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
so true.
It's true.
No instruction manual. They just let you go home after it comes out of you. Like, here you go. Good luck.
I know.
I don't know.
Like yes, you're obviously a great dog mom to Nigel, and he was fine. He was probably like, "You left me outside the elevator," and then he was probably like, and just muscled
gonna
his
get
way
out of this.
out. But yeah, exactly. Thank God. But
To try to take care of something is such an undertaking, right? And I think if you knew what it entailed, none of us would ever do it. So it's good with
I
humans.
mean, sort of, and
Yeah?
sort of, but
You wanted them, or
not exactly. Okay, so when I was younger, I always thought, well, maybe I'll have a couple of kids, whatever. I'll get married, have a couple of kids. I was engaged when I was 19, broke up with them when I was 20. It was just the thing you did. What am I gonna do? I'm not really. I wanted to be an actress, but that kind of wasn't in the cards. Not in that time and place.
now
And,
it is hire her.
Now it is,
everyone.
but I anyway. So I just kind of wanted to get married and maybe have a couple of kids, maybe 3, and then that didn't work out. So I was single and having the best time from 20 to 30. I was having the best time, and then I married a younger man who, when we got married, he was 24 and I was 30, and he really didn't want to have kids. He was just like, what will we do with one? Seriously, he's got a funny
Still
personality.
like that.
Yeah,
He's
what
like,
do we-
I
and by
didn't
then
really
time,
want
like,
you, but I love
by
you.
that time, I could have kind of. It was 30. I could kind of go either way, whatever. And we didn't. I mean, we were married for 5 years, and then I literally said to him, "If you have any thought process about having kids, okay, I just want to let you know I'm not having babies at 40." So, just wanted to say that. I don't care what we do. I'm good either way. Whatever's meant to be will be. I'm good with that. And we just kind of let it happen. And he's a great dad. He is. So I had Rocco at 35. I had Keanu at 37. And yeah, I mean,
But
thank God we had them. They're great.
Kate
They-
stepped in. It had plans for you.
Yeah.
my dad is sort of he has sort of an odd sense of humor, sort of like
He
I
does.
do. He's like, I really didn't want you. I love you.
Guys
but,
are always like, whatever.
He's
does, and
really,
it makes
he's
me
really
laugh.
odd. Okay.
And then they
I'm the younger
especially
of 2
didn't.
girls, and my parents lie and say that they didn't want any boys. I'm sure that's bullshit.
Oh,
right?
you're the younger 2 girls. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so my
sorry.
dad still says to this day that he didn't want sons, that he's fine with having 2 girls. And I guarantee that's
Seriously,
horseshit. but
my dad.
I like the
was-
lie.
My dad. I'm the oldest, and I had 3 younger brothers. I come from an Italian family where my dad, the firstborn child is supposed to be a male child.
This
That
a
is
great
no
story.
joke. Okay. That's no joke. Not that he didn't love me, but
That's
I was
why
told by
she-
my
yeah.
grandma, I was told by my aunts, I was told they put it like, oh, he didn't want you. He wanted a boy, of course.
to name Michael.
The funny, because I'm Michaeline, and then
That
he had
why?
a boy, Michael. Yes.
Okay.
So
So-
she is the eldest sister. She's Michaeline, and then they had a baby a year and a half later, and they
2
hit
years.
her
2.5 years later.
2.5 years
yeah,
later,
he's
and his
Michael.
name is Michael.
But
so
that's
there's
a
a
joke
Michaeline
in
and
an Italian
Michael.
family in that day and age.
They really
in
like that
Italian
name.
Family. It was just it was kind of odd. And you know what? My mother used to get pissed off at my aunts or my grandma for saying that to me. But I understood what they were saying. My aunt who told me that was the oldest of 9 of them. And that's an Italian family also. So she was just saying it in a camaraderie sort of way. Okay. And it's not that my dad didn't want me. He just didn't know what to do with me. And
They wanted an
I'm the one
Italian
who was the
man.
most like
son.
him. I was the one who was the most like Anthony. Not my brother Michael or my brother Anthony or my brother Rocco. I'm the one
Yeah.
who is exactly like him.
So
So
you want firstborn.
yeah, so this is what it is. You know?
Right.
Has funny plans for us, I think. You know, the older I get, the more I think that we plan and God laughs.
I know,
know?
it's so true.
That's the saying, right?
You cannot
Right, it's
control
true.
anything, really. There's no plans to be made.
You really can't.
You just gotta
No.
go with the flow.
Yeah.
I mean, and Tom, my dad, I call him Tom because his name's Tom Thompson, which is funny. I
It
always
is?
have, yeah, Tom Thompson.
Yeah.
He, I mean, he's my best friend, right? Like much like Michaeline is. He was texting me today. He's like, "What song should we dance to at your wedding?" And he said, and I said, "Of course, we're gonna do it Somewhere Beyond the Sea." I don't know why, but we like that song.
Bobby
He's like,
Darin.
yes, he said, "I'll shuffle my feet when the horn crescendo comes in, and then everyone will laugh. Everyone will be embarrassed for us and cry." And I said, "Yeah," and then we'll play. You know, we just have to dance like Mick Jagger for just one moment. Like he loves me and Rocco, obviously. They had me basically to hang out with Rocco, and then I ended up being his favorite, I would say.
Only because we were at some, I don't know, some party with some friends who had one kid. A friend of mine had one kid, and she said, and we were just talking about having kids and whatever. And she said, "You have to have a second child because otherwise you're going to be the playmate."
That's a fair point.
So
Distract each other.
we went home and got pregnant that night. I'm sure of it.
Oh my god! And
That's a good idea.
you're the youngest of it's two sisters, right?
Yeah, I realized I was conceived when my sister was 10 months old, and there's no freaking way they had a 10-month-old baby, and we're dealing with all that first baby, breastfeeding,
And they
trying to
went
figure it out,
and they
they're
said,
"Yeah,
"Let's
do
have
this again
another."
right now." I know what happened. They thought they couldn't get pregnant yet, and then they did, and here's me, right? I know what happened. But she said,
We have that in common. I'm like, I was just born to hang out with him, right?
You
Who
had
also is my
pregnant.
best friend, right? Exactly.
I mean, I loved having an older sister. I learned a lot from her. It was like a third parent kind of to teach me stuff. But
Yeah.
she says her worst memory in her entire life still is the moment where she was outside the obstetrics ward window peeking in, and my mother was there with me. She said she was like, 2 years old thinking thoughts of like murder. Like, what is that thing? It's got my it's like your cat.
It's
Yes, it's like, what is this?
She stole my bottles. She stole my blankets. She was
Oh my
trying to kill me.
It was like it was competition for her. You know,
Now we're friends. Now it's great. But
of
it's
course.
like-
And you have and do you have a younger sister too? Then
it's just us two. My father would have
It's
liked
just you.
more, but my mother
Okay.
was unable.
okay,
And my sister's got a few children, so I'm an aunt. But
that's
no,
a good thing. That's a good thing. You know,
It's cool to be a
I just say
sheep
there's something about having a sister. I only have 3 brothers, and there's things about, like, even my mom and her sister, they were the only 2. You know, they were best friends and they bounced things off of each other. And my brother Michael's wife has 2 sisters, so there's just 3 sisters. You know, they always have somebody to kind of have an opinion for you so you can make a decision or whatever. I had to cultivate friends more because I had brothers, although I am very, very, very close to my brother Michael. I mean, we always have been very close. Completely different people.
yeah.
He's the most-
yeah,
yes,
definitely.
completely different people.
It's nice. Someone who's known you your entire life.
Mhm.
The jokes. I mean, I'm sure you and Michael making fun of your parents is super fun because you both lived it, and
Yeah,
you've had the same experiences. And I mean, it's a great bond to have.
Yeah,
sibling.
it is. It is.
Even
It
if
is.
not to find these lifelong friends, I think it's an important thing. People who really know you, who like.
Yeah, I think
throw
that's true.
comments.
But I just think there's a difference. I think there would be a difference with a sister bond over brother sister bond,
I
because
think I've always said it, and I feel like I won the lottery in life. I'm best friends with all 3 of, not you, Okay. He said thank you. You too, darling. I think I'm best friends with all three of my immediate family members. My mom in a different way, my dad in a different way, my brother still my best friend, ride or die for life. But I don't know how well I would have fared with a sister. I like having a gay brother. I recommend it to anyone. Just having an older gay brother, it's the best of both worlds. It's absolutely like he kind of understands you and likes the same things you like and is not
Mhm.
like a
It doesn't steal your
overly
clothes.
yeah,
Maybe.
right.
Maybe.
Not like an overly protective, like douchey older brother. He's like, we both love Madonna and Lady Gaga and like have the same interests and have just been, ride or die with each other for our entire lives. Like I recommend it to anybody. So if you can have a younger sister and an older gay brother, then I mean,
Yeah,
mwah, it's perfect. Yeah.
it is,
Nothing
I
you can
think,
control that.
mandatory for every girl to have like a gay friend or a gay brother. Like
Yeah.
it's like the wise gay who like gives you real advice. Like it's an important component of a good life is some kind
It's
of
true.
I
Or
agree.
yeah,
I
we
hung
did
around with all
theater
gay
to
people always. Gay
what's
guys,
that?
gay
Yes.
girls. All my friends were gay. So
we're the
Me
best.
too. Right. And we were both in theater together in high school. We would tap dance together in plays
Aw.
and musicals and stuff. It was iconic.
You do tap dancing?
What's that?
We're a tap dancer? I didn't know that.
I didn't know how. I was a ballerina for 14 years until I got hit by a car and I switched to theater. But I did tap.
but that's
as
not why
well.
you switched to theater. You
No.
switched to theater because it was too much to do both.
It
And
was
you-
too much, and I was never honestly my best role in the Nutcracker. I think I did the Nutcracker 14 times. Was the Rat King because I was just always theatrical. I don't have the feet or the being a ballerina is very difficult. But yeah, it was very fun to go into theater, and you have your built-in best friend in high school who is in the same classes with you because you're both in theater classes, like
Fun.
I loved it. I couldn't get enough. But
I've been
yeah,
enjoying
tap
all
dance.
the like adorable gays I've met already this year in New York that like we can go have dinner, we can go to a nightclub, and then I just go home and go to sleep because they're not trying to have sex with me.
I
It's
think
like
that's
Exactly.
I think that's wonderful.
it's so great. It's so great.
It is.
You
There's
gotta
no
have a gay
underlying
day.
crap,
Yeah,
right? No underlying crap.
exactly.
That's
And
good.
his boyfriend is he's been on our show before too, like is the most uh, uh, hilarious, sweet, iconic, entertaining human being. Like he's just a part of our family, right?
Mhm.
Linguini,
Yeah.
Michaeline, yeah.
His name is Zach. He's a artist and an art therapist for children, and he's fantastic.
He
Yeah.
is. He
Lovely.
painted
He did the
that
snake
that
man
picture
behind me
behind.
here. This is
This
the
is
snake man.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so the lamps in front of his
Yeah.
private parts because we can't show them.
Well
But,
placed. Is it tapestry or a painting?
It's a
It's
painting.
a-
It's called Man Imposed on Peonies because those are peonies in the background.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's Linguini.
Zach did that. Anyway, he
Jack
did that
did.
he was at the Art Institute in Chicago, School of the Art, and it was one of his paintings, and they used to have it in their house in Chicago or their condo in Chicago. And I went there one time and I said, Zach, where's the naked man? He goes, oh, I'm done with him. Like done with the technique or done with the painting or whatever. He said he's in storage. He said, do you want him? I went,
Yeah.
absolutely I do. So that's the
beautiful.
original artwork by Zach.
Jackson Black says, "Does Amy date unemployed men?" Probably not, but
Why are you unemployed?
Really?
How are you? I mean, are you? I would want to know how you're living.
I know you. Do you live on the street?
Unemployed if you're retired, sure. Unemployed if you're, but yeah, if you don't have a shower, that might not be romantic.
Oh God.
Or if you're
we'll
like
read
living
one-
in your parents' basement.
Well,
Who was that
come
asked
say
it?
hi to Amy.
Do we know him?
I mean, he's gonna have a lot of spare time with no job. That's good. He's hi.
He says hello.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
How are you, beautiful?
I cannot give you a better compliment than I was in the other room listening, and I tried to stay out of the way because I just get loud and interrupty. But you guys are great. She hit me in the head. I with a loaf of bread. I was icing it.
No, I didn't.
She hit me like it was actually a brick, and you said, "Oh, look at." Anyway, you guys are amazing. How are you?
Whatever you guys are into, I don't judge. That's coul. I mean, as long as
Let
you're
your
okay.
fake flag fly.
I left a mom. You're gonna die. I left a.
She's trying to kill me. Anyway, what's up, baby?
I didn't hit you with it.
You
I
did
left.
not. You did
as a joke, I left a piece of bread on the nightstand. Because I was eating it in the middle of the night.
4 days ago.
Yes, and and I had it sitting there, and then I said biscotti, and I tossed it over at him, and it hit him in the eye.
Yeah.
And it was hard.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
My
I
My
like it.
mom got mugged in the Gare du Nord in Paris, the North Station in town.
Wow.
An Algerian guy who had gotten off a train full of Algerian convicts. He was barefoot and had no shoes. Tried to steal my mom's big bag. He
Sounds
thought
like
it was
me.
something better than it was, and he hit her with a baguette. It was the most
Baguette! That's what I was
mugging.
gonna do.
Can you say that on YouTube? A
Yeah.
filthy baguette that God made wrong? Oh, never mind. I'm thinking. See, this is why I didn't interrupt you three. Anyway, that's
No.
good. I love you. guys.
Wait. She got mugged and someone hit her with a baguette.
Yeah.
Told you baguettes
she-
should not be allowed in public.
My mother doesn't speak French, but she did know the French S word, so she called him that a few times.
There. Yeah.
And he got away with a big bag that he thought would probably be valuable, but it was just full of sweatshirts.
Oh, good. Well, good. That's good. That's awful because it's
It
terrifying.
was. She's okay, but he actually bonked her with a baguette to distract her and then get the bag of sweaters. And we thought it was just about the most French way you could get mugged.
It
Like
is.
the bad guy.
It's actually iconic that
Yeah,
happened,
it
and
is.
thank God it was only
No one
sweatshirts.
likes baguettes.
She was mad, but everybody was okay. So
That is funny. And you must do in hot water sometime whenever
Yes, thank you.
whenever you're back in
I'd love
town.
to have you anytime we're in studio in town. You could Skype in, but it's more fun if you're in studio.
oh yeah, let's do it live. That sounds fun.
Yeah, we act like idiots. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
My
Bye.
kind of people.
She attacked me with a
Oh.
loaf. With a
I
filthy-
didn't. I was like,
like
biscotti.
And she whispered to the cat, "Watch this!" Right before she threw it, Mickey.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Hey,
He
Sid,
just-
watch this.
He just he just turned around right at the right time when I had this old bread in my hand. I went, wee.
Good.
God.
Keeps him on his toes.
I guess, yes. He must be kept on his toes. This has been so much fun. You are such an interesting, wonderful human being. I'm so glad to know you. I won't hijack any more of your evening. And please come back anytime. There's her Instagram. Everyone follow her. And what's the other question I always ask? Oh, I always ask every guest this. Your favorite go-to fast food moment.
Fast food moment.
Like if you're gonna eat fast food, what is it? Which place and what is your order?
Oh God, that's a cornucopia of choices.
We're the same human. I know.
I mean, I do like the Shake Shack in Madison Park, especially if you can get a table. And I like it because you're sitting in front of that overly precious 11 Madison Park restaurants. It's so proud of itself.
Yes.
And having something that is probably more delicious, I'm not sure. And just a good burger. There's nothing like a good burger.
I agree with
I
that.
like
Good
those. I like,
burger. Yeah.
I like that cakey bun. It's total garbage, but I live right and sitting under the trees in the park. That's it.
Iconic. That's a good answer. I love that. Amy, tell the people where they can find you and what's coming up next for you, and will we see you on any more billboards? And then find her on In Hot Water coming up soon, whenever she's back in town.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So find me on In Hot Water and other stuff. Yeah, this content that we're shooting will come out, and I don't know where, but you can pop into Amy Taylor NYC on most of the socials: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I think I couldn't get them all, but most of them you'll find me. Um, and stay tuned with what I'm up to.
Hell yes. Follow her everywhere. We just had the link right here. Let me pull it up once more. Amy, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you
Really?
for, I'm so sorry we were late tonight.
No.
Yes, Instagram, follow Amy Taylor right there. And please come back anytime. You are so, I've always said this about you. I'm like, you're so easy to talk to and so
I agree.
lovely. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Likewise. It was
Really.
my honor, you beautiful ladies.
So
It was
nice
so
to
much
talk to you and
fun.
meet you. You are so easy to talk to and have a good time.
Come to New York and let's all hang out.
Okay. I
Yes.
definitely will. I definitely
It'll be
will.
so much fun. Oh, bye, Amy.
Take care.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Good night, ladies.
Take care. Good night. She's so
I
cute.
love
she's
her.
beautiful.